My favorite suit at 400 cost, the G-Line Assault Armor that just got buffed recently. It is a suit that has a plethora of skills that we need to pay attention to as the user and as the opponent. The G-Line Assault Armor has Melee Combo Controller 2, which means it can do a 3-attack melee combo. It has Offense System, which means it has stagger resistance when doing melee attacks. It has Maneuver Armor 2, which means it needs 125% to get staggered. It has Explosive Reactive Armor, which means that it will not take staggers if an explosion hits with Splash. It has to hit directly. It has Shield Tackle Kai, which means that it does more damage with tackles, especially if it has a shield equipped. The shield's still there. It has Assault Booster, which means its jump is faster and its jump speed is faster, and it has less. And it doesn't take. It has stagger resistance while it's jumping. Has damage control, which stacks with everything else around here, which means that the stagger resistance goes from 80% to 130% along with it. So think of it this way. Actually, let me go further. We have Bullet Feeder, which means that if we reload 11 when it has more than 30% left, it will reload 30% faster, which is pretty cool. We have Shield Break Stance Master, which is the first suit we've gone over that isn't the Gundam that has this. It has a mobile firing system. So, the two things to remember with this suit is that when it's doing offense system, when it's jumping, when it's on mobile firing, it has 130% stagger requirement, which means things like which is more than what it would be if someone had MA2. It's 5% more. So you need to do 130% stagger to get this thing to get off you. That means that you need to do things like the Gundam's double charge rifle. You need to shoot 13 Gem 3 missiles, etc., etc. If it is boosting, it is taking 80% less than that. So what that means is that if it is boosting, 1 second. If it is boosting, you need to do 162.5% stagger to get the stop. The Maneuver Armor 2 stacks with the damage control. This means that the G-Line Assault Armor, unless it's just standing still doing nothing, or like shooting its shotgun, or basically if it's just shooting a shotgun, the only time the G-Line Assault Armor should be getting staggered by an instant is if it's using a shotgun. Stay in motion, fire the cannon, swing your lance. The G-Line Assault Armor is probably the most stagger resistant suit at this cost. The only thing holding it back is that its primary is really bad, and his lance, while it has a really good range, has a 4-second cooldown, which means that it loses in class situations, and you can't combo the lance into itself. Let's go over the basics, shall we? The G-Line has the Assault Armor Shotgun, and usually when we think of shotguns in this game, we think of the Camphor Shotgun, the Zeonic Shotgun, which staggers in one hit because it does like 200 to 300% stagger. This does 75 at most, and the range of it is not great, 120 meters. So you can see here, because of the spread and this range, I had to stagger 3 shots. Sometimes it'll take 2. It's really down to luck. This is not a good gun. It's not a good gun at all. But it's your only option, really. It's not bad at staggering other things that are like melee-centric. Like if they're boosting towards you and they don't have an HSM option to stagger you, you can use the shotgun there. It's basically good if you're not in a shooting war with somebody. If you have the advantage over them, the frame advantage over them. Say you do something like this, you can kind of make it work. The Vulcans are, they're Vulcans. Most Vulcans at 400 don't do a lot of stagger. It's 2% just like before. It does scratch damage, but it is a very good way to finish off opponents that that are weak. And because the G-Line Assault Armor has Maneuver Armor 2 and Damage Control 1, it is very good at doing this job. It's very good at finishing off opponents with these Vulcans because it's very hard to stop to get that kind of stagger accumulation to happen. So if somebody's weak and they're really deep into the enemy lurch, but you need that kill, and it'll help your team out, you can just go in like this, and then you're really hard to stop. So the G-Line Assault Armor is really good at finishing off targets with its Vulcans. Let's go over the by the way, let's go over the shotgun. So normally the shotgun's reload is 12 seconds. But if we reload it now while the timer is at 50, it only took like 8 seconds. So reload often. Reload if you don't need it. Obviously use all the shells if you need to. But if you reload often, then you will reload. You'll be ready for the next wave. So let's go over this. The Vulcan pods do 2%. The shotgun does 15 bullets. Each do 5%. The spread is random and the range is very small. Don't use this if you're in a scramble situation. Only use this if you're aiming at something not aiming at you, or you have the corner advantage. If you're peeking around a corner, you can use this a little better. 1, 2. 1, 2. Like that. This is not a weapon you should be using. This is not your primary weapon. Your real primary weapon is this, the assault cannon unit. You are still you're mobile when you shoot the weapon, so you have a mobile firing. So when you use this, you can shrug off and beat trades with other people. If they want to stagger you, say they're like, oh, this guy's using the shotgun, he can't stagger me immediately, I'm going to stagger him. You can use the assault cannon unit instead, and during the firing motion, you can't get staggered. It'll take a 100%, 130% stagger to get you out of this stance. And by that time, you already have staggered the guy. It does 60%. So that, along with the shotgun, can kind of get you a stagger if you really need to. Something like shotgun assault cannon unit. That'll stop somebody that's coming close to you. You can also do the opposite. You can do assault cannon unit, shotgun. Either way work. It takes a little bit of time to get a swap ready, so only do it if you have the distance. Let's talk about the lance. It is long. This lance is long. Oh, not that long. Hold on a second. The lance is long. Look how long that lance is. And you can swing it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We didn't talk about this earlier, but for weapons that have 2 swings or more, you can do a side swing and time it with a neutral swing to stagger twice. All generals can do this if they have 2 swings. So the Gundam, the G-Line Standard, the the Weapon Tester can all do the side swing into a neutral swing. This allows you to stagger twice with 1 weapon and get your team ready to set up, do more combos. It is rollable, so only do it if you know they don't have a roll. You want a team to get comboed. And like with all things, neutral swings have really little end lag, so you can combo afterward. With raids that have 3-hit combos, you can do side swing, neutral swing. I just staggered the guy 3 times with 1 weapon. It's incredible. So if you're fighting something that doesn't have a dodge roll, you can really keep him in place if you do side neutral. The Heat Lance has a really interesting multiplier, and we don't go over multipliers often, but this one is strong enough that we have to go over it. So neutral swings have 100% multiplier usually, side swings have 75% usually, and the down swings usually are 130%. But the G-Line 2554. Watch how much damage this downswing does. It should do 5108, 5109. That is a 200% multiplier. This means that if you did a This means that if you did a raw downswing, you will do an insane amount of damage. Unfortunately, the downswing is really slow, which means I can't do something like this into this. It's not a true combo. They can dash out of it. This is really good for when your teammates get a counter, or when somebody allows you to get that team combo. It's kind of like a mini heavy attack. Instead, what you'll usually be doing is just doing something like this. Shotgun, shotgun, bait the roll, cannon unit, then neutral swing, then down swing. It's good enough. Yeah, so don't go for the downswing too often. Always go for the good confirm. Go for neutral swing, downswing, even though the downswing does a lot of damage. Only use the shotgun when they're not looking at you, or when you have a peek, when you have the corner and you can peek at them. This is for finishing off enemies while on HSM. You are very hard to stagger because you have offense system, which means I have stagger resistance when I'm swinging my weapon. I have stagger resistance when I'm shooting my cannon. I have stagger resistance when I'm going HSM. The only time I'm not stagger resistant is when I'm walking around doing nothing. Now it's time for the last thing on the list. The biggest combo on the G-Line Assault Armor utilizes its shield tackle Kai, which only works if you have a shield equipped. The G-Line is a hybrid unit. It has good melee damage, it has good range damage, but its biggest damage comes from using the shield tackle in a combo. We haven't gone over that in a while because we don't have suits that have gigantic shield tackle skills, but this one does. The shield tackle Kai does 200% tackle damage, or plus 100% if you want to be technical about it, if you tackle. And if the target is down, it does an extra 150. So it does the tackle does 250% damage, or 250% more, 200% damage as opposed to the normal 100%. So we can do something like this. I talked about earlier about how the lance has a 4-second cooldown, which means you can't combo the downswing into a downswing. Watch this. Because of the end lag and because of all that stuff, I can't hit him in time for a second swing. How do we get around this? Well, we do something like this. Shotgun, shotgun. Wait for the roll. All cannon unit. 1, 2. We're gonna squeeze in two rifles, and the tackle, just like that. And all of a sudden, we squeeze in a ton of damage. That is the biggest damage combo that the Z-Line Assault Armor can do. Like with all tackle combos, don't do it unless you really need that kill, but it's also really good. It's really good. You do a lot of damage with it. It only works well if you have the shield. If you don't have the shield, don't do the combo. Another thing I can talk about is that one more thing we'll talk about before we go is that the Z-Line Assault Armor is really good at breaking legs. And why is this? It's because the well, actually, let me look at this. No, it doesn't actually. It does not. One curious quirk of the shotgun is that it has a 2.5% head multiplier. This really doesn't matter, but if you were to just shoot someone in the face, like a lot, you could probably break their face, and it would shut off their camera and lower their radar range. I wouldn't aim for it, but just so you know, it's like a thing that you can do. But when it comes to doing this combo, you're aiming at their legs, and then you're doing this. You're doing a lot of damage to the leg area, so you do have a good chance of breaking their legs if they don't have leg armor. Alright, one final recap. This does 75 or 15 times 5. Use it only in a peeking situation or in a situation where they're not looking at you. 2 shots will probably do it. HSM, shoot this to finish off enemies. This is insta-stagger, it does 60%. And your stagger resistance while shooting it, your stagger resistant while boosting, your stagger resistant while using your weapon. The downswing is a lunge, does 200%. The tackle does a lot of damage if you have the shield. And yeah, that's it. Good luck.